What's up, guys, and welcome to part 1 of my House Flipper IRL series. If you're excited to see the progress on the house so far, make sure to leave a like on the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. And if you haven't seen the empty house tour that we did previously, make sure you go back and watch it so you can really get the full effect of what we've actually done. In order to prevent myself from rambling too much more, we're going to start the music and jump into some time lapses. All right, we're gonna try out this GoPro audio. Hopefully it's not absolutely atrocious, but we now have a good solid base coat of white on all the walls that we're painting. So dining room, all white now. It was like mauve or mauve or however you pronounce that before, and it just wasn't our color, unfortunately. Since the ceiling is curved, I don't know if you can really see that very well on camera, but in the dining room, the living room, and then this main entrance here, all the ceilings, or I guess all the walls to the ceiling are curved. So there's absolutely no shot that we were gonna tape that off and try to do the ceiling a different color. It honestly just made more sense to do the entire thing. But it is looking so good, you guys. And then you probably can't tell on camera very well, but the trim here is actually a really light gray. You can kind of see in the sunlight there, there's a little bit better contrast, but it looks so nice, you guys. We have all the trim in here painted. We still need to paint just this tabletop in that niche there in the front entry, but she's coming together. Did I say this already? It's day 5. I think this is day 5 now. Hallway is all painted. I think Mario and Maria are going to start painting their bedroom today. We're not gonna be painting our bedroom. I think this color is actually totally fine. It's kind of a light gray. I don't know why, but our color palette for this house is quickly becoming white and gray. But what I'm gonna start working on today is here in the kitchen. I'm gonna be removing this decorative trim up at the top. I'm gonna be removing the baseboard as well. And then I have these 1x1s. So basically we're gonna get rid of the decorative trim and replace it with just a square 1x1 at the top. We will have some skinnier than this trim on the sides, and then on the outside corners as well. We'll have a chunkier baseboard. It's gonna look really, really good, dude. After I change out all the trim and everything, we'll go through and paint this the same color as the kitchen cabinets, which is gonna be taupe of the morning. It's actually this one right here. Don't know how well you're gonna be able to see that color on camera because the lighting in here isn't the best, but that's the plan. So I'm gonna set you guys up for a little time lapse and we'll get after it. All I've done so far is this one corner of the room, but we have the baseboard removed, we have the decorative trim at the top now removed, and then the plastic sort of corner trim that was there before, that's also been removed. So what I need to do now is basically go through and any of those knots, the really, really gnarly looking knots, I'm gonna fill with this plastic wood product. Obviously not a sponsor. Well, that's 2 walls done now. Several more to go. Obviously I don't have the trim put up just yet. I do need to let all this stuff harden and dry. There are a couple of spots that are just too close to the baseboard, so gotta let that dry before I can actually get some new boards put in. It's crazy to think that I learned how to do all of this stuff from a video game. Okay, I'm lying, actually. Definitely weren't doing any of this in House Flipper 1 or 2. I definitely think I've given you guys maybe a few too many shots where you might be able to see my butt crack, but you should feel pretty special, honestly, because like most of the time you gotta go to an external site for content like that. You know what I'm saying? But not here. Here we do that for free. Sweaty, yo. I'm not gonna lie. That kind of sucked. That was kind of awful. I paid 200, my brain is just mush right now. Super cold outside, and that stuff's super heavy. I paid like $200 extra though for what they call like the through threshold service. So basically like, if you have a bunch of stuff palleted like that, they're supposed to bring it into your home. I was like, well, I don't need it in the house, you know, we're gonna be building an office in the garage, so I might as well just have them drop it in the garage. And he was like, yeah, we don't do that. I was like, oh, okay, well, I will call the store and see if they can refund me my 200 bones. So what you guys would have just seen is I had to pretty much one by one, board by board, panel by panel, had to get it all scooted inside the little garage, the smaller garage door. That was something. That was something. I think I'm just gonna hang out here for a few more minutes, just on the floor. I totally forgot to mention this too. I'm almost certain that I over-purchased for the insulation. And maybe I over-purchased for 2x4s as well, but you can never really have too many of those. I'm thinking though, the rest of the garage, apart from the office, none of that is insulated right now anyways. So it's probably not the worst thing in the world to have extra or leftover insulation. We could just use it in the remainder of the garage. But man, I am absolutely cooked. And I didn't really realize how difficult it would be to film myself doing a lot of stuff. You know, it would almost be easier to have like a dedicated person to film, but I'm doing the best I can. Hopefully thus far we've got enough footage for you guys so you can kind of get the gist of what we've got going on here. I don't really have too much left to do today. The only other thing I have is like one more corner of that trim you guys saw me ripping off earlier. I got one more corner of that. I'm gonna continue filling all the remaining knots in the panel in the kitchen, and then I'm out of here. This is day 7, 8? It's the end of week 1. We have now reached the end of week 1. It feels like we've got a ton of stuff done. Hopefully I managed to film enough to at least make a decent part 1 of House Flipper IRL. But also I'm mic'd up now. I got the good camera, I'm mic'd up now, so hopefully things are gonna be a little bit better, at least toward the end of the video. But what I wanna do today is just kind of walk you guys around the house and show you maybe what I wasn't able to film, which the first thing is actually gonna be just behind you guys. So the girls spent a good amount of time doing what's called the German schmear, or over-grouting the brick fireplace, and I think it turned out amazing. It looks so dang good, and I really, really love the contrast now that we have with our mantle and the brick itself, because it was all dark brown, dark red brick before, and now it just looks a lot cleaner, a lot simpler. And I know I kind of already showed you guys the new couch, at least a little bit, but this was delivered a few days ago, and it is so comfortable, dude. You sink into it. I'm trying to imagine our TV going above the fireplace, above the mantle specifically. And I don't think it's gonna fit on the mantle, so I bet I'm gonna have to get some anchors and anchor a wall mount for a TV into the brick. I feel like that's gonna be the only way we actually get a TV up there. I would say a good bulk of the work here thus far has just been paint. Pretty much every single room in the house has a fresh coat of paint on it. This color is called Greek Villa. And then on the trim, it's a Sherwin-Williams color. I don't know if that matters to anyone, but Greek Villa on the walls. And then we have Drift of Mist is our trim. It's just barely more gray than the walls. It's a very, very light gray. But the dining room is all finished up. Obviously, we're kind of in the middle of reno still, so there is a bit of a mess in here. But just imagine a nice round table, maybe 4 chairs around it. We already have a table, but it is going to need refinishing. Here in the main entryway, again, walls, Greek villa, trim, drift of mist, and we have actually decided to keep the antique chandelier here. It's honestly, it's really grown on us. I think both Oksana and myself. I was the one initially who was not against it, but I definitely wanted to just swap it out for something a bit more modern. But it's too cute, dude. It's too cute to take it out. Here in the main hallway leading to all the bedrooms, again, Greek villa on the walls, drift of mist on all the trim. This is probably a fantastic angle, if I had to guess, just having you guys there on the floor. We didn't end up painting our bedroom, so I don't really think I need to bother showing you guys that, but Mario and Maria did paint their bedroom. So let's move into there. Let me get a light turned on. They also have sort of an antique ceiling tite, and they are planning on keeping that one. I believe the wall color they went with in here is called Repose Gray, and I believe that is a Sherwin-Williams color as well. But it looks so much better. If you guys remember in our initial sort of walk around in the empty house tour, this room was like pink, kind of like a salmon-y pink, and it wasn't looking super great. So this is way, way better. The bathroom is a bit difficult to actually show on camera just because it's kind of a tight space. But in here as well, I believe this is Repose Gray now on the walls. It's just a bit lighter gray than what was in here before. And then the ceiling has been painted with its first coat of Greek villa. As you can probably tell back here, we do still have to touch up the corners, you know, where the wall meets the ceiling, but that's pretty easy. The final stop on our brief little tour today is going to be here in the kitchen. I would say this is where I've been spending a good majority of my time the past few days. I've been getting stuff done, let me tell you. So what I've done thus far in here, as you guys would have seen, we did end up removing this sort of angled corner cabinet. Honestly, we probably wouldn't have been able to use it very well, very efficiently. It was just so awkward, kind of far away, awkward angle. So without it, it looks much, much better. I then had to attach a 1/4-inch piece of plywood. Nice plywood though. Don't get it twisted, okay? This is the good stuff. We then took out the cabinets that were just above the sink. We're gonna be getting a new sink. It'll be a farm sink, of course. You guys know Oksana and I, we kind of like those. We also decided kind of last minute, let's get some new countertops. You know, the kitchen spiraled out of control pretty quickly, I would say. At first, you know, we were just gonna paint in here and paint the cabinets and that was gonna be that, but the more we kind of looked at things and priced things out, it just sort of made sense. We got a smoking deal on the countertops, and then I still have to add some quarter round. All along the ceiling is that quarter round stuff, so from here up in the corner, across and down to there will be some quarter round, and then on this cabinet, same deal. Up along the edge of the wall in the cabinet, all the way to the ceiling, and across, that'll all be quarter round. So I'll probably start working on that here today. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit more of an update of sort of what's been going on. We have a new plan for this, what we think used to be a window. First we thought it was a window, then we thought it was a door, but no, actually after peeling the backer board back, it looks like it used to be a window, or at least an opening in the wall into what is now a closet on the other side. So the plan is, it comes down to about here. So I'm gonna cut this backer board all out. We're gonna take out the 2x4s that are in there now, sort of enclose it with some 1/4-inch ply, make a nice frame around it, and I think we're gonna put some dowels all the way across and sort of make a makeshift cabinet, sort of cubby type of thing. We can put cutting boards there, we can put spices up there. It could act as a spice rack as well. But filling this with the concrete board again sounds a bit more daunting than just trying to sort of utilize it almost as it is already. Oh, man. I tell you what, doing all this stuff virtually is so much easier than doing it IRL, but
I do think that all the work that we're putting in is well worth it. But I think that's where we're gonna wind things down at for part 1 of House Flipper IRL. Once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.